Hello and welcome to Hockey Night on Memory to Videos Productions. I'm Evan G. Marlow with Joe B. DeChene behind the camera and Shawn Perry joining us once again behind the benches. Shawn, exciting matchup here. Not much on paper, but you never know what can happen with teams that don't have anything to lose. The Stingers come in eliminated from playoffs. Allies fighting for a playoff spot. What are you expecting to see down there next to the Stingers bench today?
Bill DeChene, I think, is going to lead this team to a victory tonight. I am seeing a lot of focus and determination in the eyes of Kennedy and Amato, and the entire lineup just seems poised to show the Allies who they are and end this season on a good note. You know, you never know. Hockey Soda's a great team, loose cannons, but there's a chance that the Allies will be the champions by the end of the playoffs, and it could be a fun way to end the season for the Stingers to just knock these guys off and end it that way.
Yeah, Stingers coming in with just the one lone victory on the year, so obviously no playoff hopes for them. Interesting call there by you, Shawn, but certainly we've seen crazier things. Maybe
6-4
playing a little
Stingers.
Loose. Interesting prediction. We'll see how that works out. The Allies have Art Laney in there today, Brian Talbot out. So other than that, the same lineup for the Allies, always very scary. And for the Stingers, as you mentioned, some big boys, as you can see down there, Cliff Kennedy and Scott Brown, as well as Bill DeChene, the leader on defense with Brad Howe. Should be an exciting one, Shawn.
That's going to be a real challenge for the Allies. They haven't faced a team with this kind of size advantage on them in a while. And this is the sort of thing they're going to run into the playoffs. So they're just coming off a loss against Hockey Soda, so they're going to expect and need to end this on a victory going into the playoffs. But it's going to be a good climax for the season for the Allies. I'm interested to see how they're able to react to the size and strength of the Stingers' defense.
Should be a good one, the last one of the regular season. Allies fighting for playoff position, looking to win and then hold on, hope the loose cannons lose a couple games and help them out for a first round bye. And as always, the Allies are sponsored by TD Homers, which has pretty much anything you could ever want in life. Beer, great wait staff, great food.
Are you almost done?
Yeah, these pants make me look fat.
They all look the same to me.
Come on, be honest. Do I look fat in these?
They look fine. Can we go?
I'm just gonna try one more pair.
I am never shopping with you again.
Yes.
Here we are getting ready for the opening face-off. Eric Blazinski going with the Allies by 3. Interesting pick there on the Blaze line. He's been pretty close on his recent picks. As Rieger, Kelsey, Art Laney filling in for Talbot, as we mentioned, on defense, trying to get him eligible for the playoffs. On for the Allies, DeChene, Brad Howe. On with Bremer and Lavolsi for the Stingers. And this one's taken by Lavolsi. Laney with it now. Entering with a little bit of speed. It's off the bar right there. Snuck it through a screen and then off the post. Slada barely moved on it. Laney almost got an early one there. Kelsey with it now. Trying to cut on in. Poked away nicely by Howe. With a pass a little too far in front of Bremer, so it's intercepted by Laney. Laney coming out hot after missing a couple games. Of course, a substitute, so he's on call when needed for the Allies. That one shot into the chest by Baratigo.
Take a look. Around.
And Howe pressured by Kelsey. Able to get it out, though.
Good communication on the bench with the Stingers early on.
Stingers out of it, but what are you getting feeling for down there? Still playing with some pride feeling today there, Shawn?
Determined for an upset. They came to play today.
Allies, of course, looking for some playoff positioning here. Stingers with just the one win coming in their last game out of the picture in regards to any postseason hopes. That one whizzes off the glove of Lotta. Back down directly in front of us where Cliff Kennedy will play pass with Brad Howe. Eventually up to PJ Amato and then shot on down where it's swallowed up but then not blown dead. Julio Alves eventually playing it to El Guapo, as he's being affectionately referred to these days, Joey Delgado.
Nice pass by Kennedy.
Good look there with Kennedy, but Brown can't get the shot on net. So Watros takes back the other way. His shot hits off of Amato's skates. Hill with it. Seth Gibson rolling no call there in the corner. Seth Gibson, of course, the former Allies goaltender. This one right at Joe B.B. Quinn. Doesn't even flinch holding the camera. That's a man committed to the craft. Early on, teams feeling each other out a little bit here. Got to think Allies the heavy favorite coming in, but Stingers with a little bit of firepower, as Shawn, you mentioned, looking for the upset here today.
Should be a good one, certainly. They got a lot of very experienced players in hands on this team, and coming off of a heartbreaking loss last week, the Allies really need to bounce back.
Definitely a big game here for the Allies to finish off on a high note heading into the playoffs. Nice pass there for Delgado. Big shot there off a Howe's stick. Watros and Brad Howe fighting with it. Stingers without Brad Howe's son, Eric Howe, one of their better players. So that will make it a little harder for them in their quest to upset the Allies. Betting with it now, cutting on in, shot there, swallowed up by Lotta, and covered for the face-off to the right. Some big bodies down there for the Stingers, Shawn.
I've noticed, man, from my estimation, Kennedy's probably the biggest. Also leads the team in penalty minutes. I'm sure that's unrelated.
Of course. They certainly can clog up some space in the defensive zone. It's what we saw a little bit of last time these two teams met. But Allies, in the end, a little too much offensive firepower and just a higher level of skill than the Stingers. Bill DeChene with it now. Behind the net, trying to shoot it on down. Tipped by Lavolsi over to Amato. Amato with a big line there. Behind the net. Alves looking around for it. Chips in front. Almost a chance there for Amato, but Laney, Johnny on the spot to clear it on out. DeChene now, Amato behind the defense. Bradigo trying to catch up to him and able to get there in time to poke the stick away.
Boy, Bradigo can really fly when he wants to.
He took about 4 strides and he was caught up in no time to Amato, who was well behind the defense to start, but the speed of Mike Bradigo, a little closing speed there, very useful.
A lot of communication early on in the Stingers bench, just taking it patiently, really not, in the early going, really not taking it back or feeling at all unconfident from my estimation.
Good to hear. We'll see if that turns into some results for them. Obviously, a nice mindset going into the game that they're not coming in defeated, which certainly some people looking at these teams' records might think they don't have much of a chance.
7-2. Yeah, well, every game matters here.
A little different, but hey. And there, Kelsey shot DeChene laying down with the shot block, and Kelsey hit the deck too. A lackadaisical safe call by Seth Gibson. I think he was just too lazy to raise his arm to blow the whistle, to be honest with you.
You know, you can think about it this way. It's kind of the biggest game of the year for the Stingers. This is the last of the season. They have to end it on a good note, and what better way than upsetting a team that was once tied for first and is going into the playoffs?
Certainly could be a big moment for them. They don't have much else to play for, but a little bit of personal pride here. And like you said, a chance to upset one of the top teams in the division. Always a big opportunity. So far, we are tied at The exciting score of 0-0 with just under 5 left now here in the first. A shot there from Watros, kicked away nicely by Lotta. Things a little clogged up, not really too many great chances for either team so far. Nice work by Delgado on the ground. Hill in with Watros. Now here's a chance. Watros' shot whiffs on a rebound, though. Nice stick there from Brown.
Juicy rebound there for Hill, which 15 points in the year is not a good idea, but Lotta stands tall.
Yeah, you had a good view of it right there. Saw, obviously, Lotta down there with the open net, and then Brown able to recover and get a stick on it just in time to save the day for his goaltender. 4:38 left now here in the first. Kennedy and Watros on the draw. Cliff Kennedy wins it, and he'll enter in on Joey Delgado. Cutting across there. Can't pull the trigger, though, thanks to some good back pressure from Watros. Brad Howe's big wine off of El Guapo's skates.
Here comes mighty Evan Hill flying through.
The Stingers have the size, but with the likes of Hill and Bradigo and Watros and Kelsey, of course, the Allies certainly have the speed advantage here tonight. See if they can take advantage of the big bodies of the Stingers and use their speed and skill to get past the defenseman. So far, no luck.
It's a good challenge for them. I mean, it's speed against strength here. Braun and David and Goliath, real classic matchup.
Delgado squeaks past Scott Brown all the way in, and then a big old whiff on the shot sets up Hill actually perfectly, but a nice kick save there from Lotta. Delgado whiffed on it, but ended up right on Hill's stick. Kenny with a big line there, laser just above the blocker's side, and then Brown can't settle down on the rebound.
They're getting so few shots, they got to stop taking it from the point and try to permeate the defense of the Allies, Stingers do.
Yeah, the couple so far off target when they've had a chance. Looks like early on they've been trying to throw things on net from far, but that's not how you're going to beat Julio Alves.
Heck no. Interesting little side note for this story. Julio Alves has the lowest goals against average in the league with 2.556, whereas while Lotta's stood tall, these Stingers have one of the lower ones on the season. So it's an interesting goaltending match on the paper, but never turns out the way you think.
So far, 0-0, both goalies with clean sheets, but so far this season, Alves, one of the top goalies in the league, and not necessarily Stan Lotta's fault, but his team has let up a lot of goals in front of him. He's been pretty strong today, not tested too much, but come up with a couple big saves to keep the Allies off the board here so far with just 3 left now in the first.
Very true, Evan.
I'm a truth teller, Sean, a truth teller. PJ Amato enters his zone now, almost gets all the way through Bradigo, but eventually it's popped away. A little lackadaisical start here from the Allies. A couple chances, but looking a little flat coming in, maybe underestimating the Stingers a little bit.
And as we speak, 2-on-1 developing.
Great chance for Kelsey, and that one hits off the post. It hit Lotta's shoulder and then right in the corner, so as I speak, Allies with their best chance of the day, and Kelsey ends up hitting the post. Here he is in front with it, trying to squeak it past. Shot ends up going wide. PJ Amato with it behind the net now. And he'll just clear it on down as Stingers catch their breath for a second. Michael Kelsey with some great work and a couple chances for the Allies.
Laney fighting through into the offensive zone, trying to get it to Kelsey, who sets up shop in front, but to no avail. Stingers, well, it's going back and forth.
Bradigo looking for Kelsey's stick there. Laney and Bradigo, two very offensive defensemen. Laney can be a great stay-home defenseman, but so that's something I know Joey Delgado has talked about with him before. But he has the offensive skill, and he likes to creep on down as he is right now, sitting there in the slot.
Kelsey breaking free.
Kelsey
comes up
squeaking
front.
through and buries it.
That is a goal scorer's goal, as they say.
A lovely job there by Michael Kelsey, as it was Laney, the D-man we were speaking about, squeaking on down in the slot. He took the attention of the defenseman, and then Kelsey walked out all alone. As you said, Shawn, a goal scorer's goal. He just cuts on in and takes it hard to the net and then buries it around Lotta to make it 1-0 Allies.
Big momentum shift. First period's ending. This is a real test of tail for the Stingers. They got to stay tall and keep this a 1-0 game.
Yeah, where he talked about how they'll have to overcome some things to pull off the upset today. They held on for a while, keeping the Allies off the board. We'll see if that one opens the floodgates or if Stingers can bounce back here. Approaching 1 minute left here in the first. Still just 1-0, so certainly plenty of time for the Stingers to bounce back, but not the start you want if you're looking to upset a team.
The sense of urgency is definitely picked up. You can smell it.
Bremer's shot there curls on wide and is taken by Joseph Delgado.
Gotta say, Delgado's been over all over the court tonight. He's been very active.
Hill has Watchers on the back door, keeps it himself, and then shot loose for a second. Lotta able to cover up before Watchers got to it. Nice little move there from Hill. Had Watchers on the back door for a second, ended up sort of faking the pass a little bit and squeaking through. Had a good look all alone, but Stan Lotta been pretty strong in goal so far. Nice face-off there by Cliff Kennedy. Bank it off the boards to Scott Brown, but Delgado able to fend him off. Jim Benning now settling down his own end. Up to Watros. Time for one last rush here for the Allies if they can settle it down, but hops over Hill's stick to DeChene. Bill DeChene shot through some traffic in the corner. 6 left now, and a big wind there off the stick of Alves, up and out of play. PJ Amato with the big one-timer. We've seen a couple shots from Amato whizzing on by there.
That's a good point to end it on with 4 seconds left. That was got traffic in front of the net. Strong shot from the point. One of the better chances of the period for the Stingers.
Yeah, definitely one of the better chances, and a building block perhaps for the Stingers. Offensively, they haven't created much, but that was probably their best pressure of the period. A good note to go out on, as that there is the final buzzer of the first. So after just one goal, courtesy of Michael Kelsey, Allies up 1-0. We'll take a quick break and be back with the start of the second after these messages.
This is for you. It's a Rolex. For me, Bruins jersey. A David Krejci Bruins jersey. Thanks.
Back now here with the start of the second period. Kelsey wins that draw over to Laney. Here's a great chance. Scott Brown in all alone. Shot there, scores!
Right off the bag. What a shot.
Brutal turnover there from Laney. Passing it right to Scott Brown. He's looking up to the skies wondering how he messed that one up so bad. But Scott Brown gets a gift and then buries it to the blocker side. A nice shot there by Brown, taking advantage of a gift from Art Laney, and just like that, 6 seconds into the period, we're tied at 1.
It's no surprise to this reporter. They had a great game plan from the first period. They had no, stress. They just talked about the game, how it was going, how they're going to change up their offense, and immediately focus is rewarded.
Yeah, it seemed they remained pretty calm there in between periods, and like you said, comes out and rewarded with a nice little pass there from Art Laney onto the stick of Scott Brown, and he buries it. A nice shot there.
It's a pretty goal.
Yeah, Alves, as we said, hard to beat, but that time Brown, his third of the year, sneaking one past the blocker's side. Not much Alves can do point blank shot like that. Here is Laney. That clapper squeaks all the way through. Laney saying it deflected off somebody before it went up in the rafters. Seth Gibson making it rain, or perhaps signaling that it was deflected. Face-off comes all the way back. Seth, a very lackadaisical referee.
Kennedy's a beast at these face-offs, but it's a real battle every time.
Yeah, well, we've talked in games past about the big face-off advantage with Kelsey and Watros. Especially Kelsey's been extremely strong on the draw the last couple games, but Cliff Kennedy coming out very hot there on the face-off circle. He's on with Scott Brown up front now for the Stingers. Here is Kelsey cutting across, still holding, trying to get the shot through. Hits off some bodies and over to Cliff Kennedy. Settles on down to Brad Howe. Howe cutting on in, nice move to the backhand.
Lickety-dickety.
Leave it there and scores. Cliff Kennedy squeaks it through the 5-hole, and just like that, 101 into the second. 2 quick goals and Stingers take the lead. Some nifty moves from Brad Howe coming down the right side, and then he left it right in the slot, and Cliff Kennedy just buried it. Eventually squeaked on through. Alves got a piece of it, but not enough, and it popped on in the 5-hole. And what do you know? Stingers up 2-1. So after the Kelsey goal, the Stingers with nice offensive pressure at the end of the first, and it carries on over to the second. 2 quick goals here, and the Allies find themselves trailing by 1, just like that.
Nice saucer pass from Delgado.
Hill cutting on in now. Trying to get to Watros and held up, and that'll be a penalty there.
Jeez, for what?
Gibson calling a hooking, I believe. Got the stick up into Evan Hill's midsection there. So, Allies off to the power play.
Good timing.
Chance to get that goal back, at least one of them, and get things back square. Brad Howe off for a hook on Evan Hill. Hill stays on with Watros, Benning, and Delgado to start the power play. Guy Lavolsi, Bremer, and Amato on to kill in front of Stan Latta. Delgado down, nice pass from Watros to Hill. Shot through some traffic, but Latta, good job finding that one.
Hill's been taking a lot of good shots in the last couple games, but has been held pretty tight.
A little bit of puck luck not going his way.
A little cold, if you will.
That'll certainly be something Allies need to change heading into the playoffs. Hill looking for Benning, just able to get a stick on it, and alternate enough was PJ Amato in front. Hill taken down there by Lavolsi, and then Bremer just rims it around where Jim Benning will take it up to the point man right now, Joey Delgado. El Guapo shoots that one a little bit too high, up into the rafters. 31 seconds left here on the power play for the Allies, as they find themselves trailing by 1 to the Stingers.
You know what I think Evan Hill's problem is right now? Is he's doing a lot of passing when he could be taking shots. Just keep an eye on that.
Certainly something to look for.
Just tell him somebody don't be cute, shoot.
Hill and Watros at
El
times
Guapo.
can get a little too fancy there, as off the draw, Scott Brown shoots that one up into the rafters. They make some beautiful passing plays, but sometimes a simple shot on goal is a little better than too many fancy passes that don't end up resulting in a shot. Scott Brown with it off the draw. His shot there squeaks in and scores.
Drops his second Cleveland Brown of the day over Julio Alves at left shoulder. How do you like that?
I loved it. As Alves looking a little shaky, that one certainly not one we see from Julio Alves very often, but Squeaking in the short side, a short-handed goal for Scott Brown. That's his second of the game, second of the period. And what do you know, just like that, Stingers up 3-1. Certainly not the way many people saw this one going, but the Stingers coming out hot here in the second period. You heard them in between periods, Shawn, and whatever they had to say, it certainly worked as they got 3 goals now in just 3 minutes.
Calm, cool, collected, and poised to sting. And look at that, 3 times. That's Brown's 5th on the year. Might be pretty close to turning around his season personally. After just 1 more goal this period, he's going to get a hat trick.
He has done a great job of making this a big lead here for the Stingers now as they find themselves up 2 and back to 4-on-4 as Howe's out of the box. Bradigo fending off DeChene.
Probably a point where Bradigo's getting pissed off. Looks it. Watch out.
A feisty player, Mike Bradigo, as Kelsey there gets it through and then a lucky bounce and he chips it on over for the goal.
It's about makes sense.
Not the most beautiful goal of Michael Kelsey's career, but he'll take it either way. They don't draw pictures on the score sheet, so Allies cutting into the lead, making it 3-2 now. The initial shot by Kelsey ended up hitting off of some skates, hopping around, and then Lotto was stuck down. It chipped on over, and Kelsey regained possession and just chipped it on in with Lotto still down from the initial shot attempt. So
for
Kelsey's
journalistic
second
integrity,
of the
I
day.
have to mention Bradigo set that up.
Bradigo with the assist. DeChene up to Scott Brown. So exciting start to the second period here after a little bit of a feeling out for most of the first. Nice work there by Bradigo to get it up to Rieger in 3-on-2. Her shot, rebound. Kelsey just over skates and Bill DeChene has it in the corner now.
DeChane's something of a legacy character in Connecticut hockey. He's been a referee, he's been a player, he's got a long history of on the ice and on the floor experience, and he's definitely a leader on this team.
A man who's been around the rink quite a bit in all facets finds himself laying on the deck for the second time today as blocking shots, one of the many things he does out there for the Stingers. Big part of their defense, which has kept the Allies at bay for the most part today. Those big bodies clogging things up a little bit.
Stingers bench is still buzzing, man. They are a tight-knit squad, and they are hungry for this win. They are definitely not slowing down.
You said it earlier, probably the biggest game of their season as they don't have the playoffs to play for anymore, but looking to go out with a bang here and upset the Allies.
It's kind of a fun thing. You know, to make the playoffs, you're not guaranteed to win your last game. This way you can.
Yeah, and playing a little loose. They don't have anything to lose, so looking strong so far as they find themselves up 3-2 with 6:15 left here in the second. This one hopping around, and Kelsey back on his stick for him. Back and just can't corral to get it on net. He had a lot of beat, almost his 3rd of the day.
Got to say something for the positioning of Lana there. If he'd, he followed him the whole way, and he made it difficult. He made it extended that activity.
He kept the pressure on, and that forced Kelsey to try to make a fantastic move to the backhand, which the ball eventually rolled on up. And then on the other side, the shot bounces off of Alves and out of play. Face off to Julia Alves' right. As Allies head for a change, Stingers exchange a few players. They are, of course, short a man, so unable to make full wholesale changes. Redo on that face-off.
It was so good, I wanted to see it again.
Seth Gibson dropped it right on Watrous' hand, I think, so just blew it dead and said, let's try that one more time. That one whizzes by the glove side. Reamer's shot through to Hill.
Here comes the mighty Hill.
Let's see, takes a shot here, looking for his own rebound. It pops out Watros with an empty net, and he buries it.
What did I tell him about taking shots earlier? That was a great setup.
Hill, that time, not getting too fancy, just shoots it on net, and it ends up bouncing around. Hill going after the rebound, takes the defenseman with him, so with Lotta down, Hill down, and the defenseman down in front, Watros with the empty net, and he's not going to miss those. 3-3 the score now. Watros first of the day, his 12th of the season. Some discussion amongst the referees at the moment.
Probably about talking about fantasy football or something. Wish they'd get on with it.
Gibson maybe looking to sell his Ranger tickets. Ruled, I believe, must be interference on Hill. Looked like he was pretty far away from Lotta, but either way, goal ruled off. So looks like maybe must be, I guess, goal interference on Hill. I don't know what you're hearing down there, Shawn, but Hill going hard to the net, maybe bumping a little bit too much into Lotta is the only thing I could think would be a logical reason for blowing that one off. Either way, Stingers remain up 3-2, but not much longer. Tic-tac-toe, Watros scores anyway.
All right, on that note, I'm here with hockey legend Bill DeChene of the Stingers. Things are an amazing, it's been a hot period so far. Where do you thinking things are going?
Both periods been pretty hot. It looks like things are going well today. Both teams skating hard. A lot of nice passing, a lot of nice plays happening on both ends.
You guys came out with a lot of firepower in the beginning, but things are getting a little bit more even-handed. You got any plans for the third period? Any things you got to work on?
No, we'll just nail our stuff down, come back with a little bit more intensity, see if we can pick it back up another notch. It's just tied. We're still in good shape. Second period, we're in good shape. This team plays us tough, so to be tied at this point, we're fine.
Thanks for your time, Bill.
Thanks.
Interesting there, as Bill said, and you have commented on, a nice attitude to hear from the Stingers. They seem to remain calm and pretty laid back, feeling confident that they can pull this one off. But things did just get tougher after that beautiful goal by Brian Watros. Some tic-tac-toe bending over to Hill, and then Watros on the far side. A beautiful goal after Watros' goal just moments earlier rolled off. So in the end, either way, we find ourselves tied at 3. But like Bill said, Stingers still very much in this thing, remaining calm. We're just back to square one. Here's a chance for Hill in tight, can't get the shot off.
That was like 4 or 5 too many passes.
Trying to squeak that one through, but a little too much and no shot getting to the net. Brad Howe with some speed cutting through. Pokes around Kennedy on the side off of Benning's helmet and then rolling around. El Guapo with it. Back to Benning and then pass up to Evan Hill.
So wait, is Delgado El Guapo?
Delgado is officially El Guapo now.
Must be the hair.
He's got the look. He's got the mindset, the personality, so it fits. As Hill taken down for the second time today. This one ruled a hold rather than a hook, but still, in the end, the same result. It's Brad Howe off for taking down Evan Hill, and the Allies head to the power play. Another big chance here on the power play is this time Allies looking to take back the lead after Stingers with the 3 big goals here in the third. Allies then tying it up. Kelsey, Rieger, Laney,
nice
and
face-off win there.
on. Kelsey with a nice win on that draw. Bill DeChene, who just joined us, looking for Bremer.
Stingers are doing a great job in the penalty kill so far this game.
They had the shorthanded goal earlier, and here's another great chance. PJ Amato with the shot, but Alves able to get enough of it to keep it on out. Allies power play not looking too strong in 2 minutes of action so far. Still 55 left on this chance here. Bradigo wheeling around using Laney as a little pick Kelsey can't settle it down, has to kick it up to himself and then pass it over to Bradigo. Mike Bradigo down to Michael Kelsey, rather. Shot there, Lotta with the big blocker save, and then Bill DeChene clears it out. Big line from Bradigo, hits some bodies bouncing in front. Rieger settling it down, shot wide, hits off of Laney. A little better possession here on the power play at least. On the back door, Laney buries it. A great look from Kelsey. 4-3 Allies. Nothing Lotta can do on that one.
Beautiful pass.
Kelsey came out of the corner there and found Art Laney right on the back door, and he buried it into the empty net. So Allies take the lead 4-3. A little bit of momentum changing here for the Allies as they start to turn it on offensively.
More of a defensive player than a scorer. That's just Art Laney's second goal of the year, but it's a huge one for the Allies.
Laney filling in for Talbot, coming up with the big goal. We talked earlier a little bit about how he likes to sneak on down once in a while, despite being a strong defensively minded player. And it works out good for him there on the power play, as that shot from DeChene sticked away by Julio Alves, rather. Just Laney's second point, his second goal, as today qualifies him officially to play in the playoffs.
Hearing a little frustration on the Stingers bench just as far as the officiating goes. A lot of calls not going their way. It seems a little fishy.
Brad Howe was upset with the last penalty call for the hold on Hill, and then Guy Lavolsi just moments ago a little upset as he threw his stick down during the play looking for a slashing call. Gibson politely bringing his stick back over to the bench.
It's the game.
1:27 left here in the second. 4-3 the score now is that one. Kennedy trying to go forward with it off the draw, ends up deflecting up and out of play, so he and Watros will go right back at it. Watros able to backhand that one on net. Kicked out, but then cleared by Scott Brown. Brown back with it now. Pass too far ahead of PJ Amato, where Joey Delgado will take. Hill. Up to Delgado, streaking on in. Looking to get it to Watros. Can't get good wood on it. Ends up squeaking on through the net and covered easily by Stan Lotta. We've seen some frustration from the Stingers.
A Lotta.
Here as tide's turning a little bit. Allies with a good response to the 3 goals from the Stingers, with 3 of their own to take the lead back as we are in the waning moments of the second. Cliff Kennedy looking in front, ends up going all the way back to Brad Howe. Loose move by him, and just out of the reach of Watros was the pass from Hill. Watros plays it in the corner now, curls off Howe. Look at a squeak through. Nice job by PJ Amato coming back on defense. He shoots it on down, and Delgado will take behind Alves. Up to Evan Hill.
1-on-2 to Hill, but he's going to get a shot off. No.
Can't pull the trigger on that one, as Brad Howe was strong on the defense there to keep him wide.
About twice his size as well.
Cutting through, yeah. The big reach of Howe coming up there. Watros that time takes the shot, blockered by Lotta, and then covered up, played out to kill off the final seconds.
Add that to the missed opportunities column. That was a 3-on-1. He took the first shot. He had 2 guys with him. I usually say, don't be cute, shoot. Probably could have been a little cuter there.
Yeah, that time maybe a pass or 2 in order, but Watros take the shot. Lotta took care of it. In the end, though, 3 goals for both teams in the period, and we end up back with a 1-goal lead for the Allies. Exciting second, 4-3 the score right now. Allies ahead. We will take another break and be back with the start of the third period after these messages.
No, they're in overtime. I don't know, 5, 10 minutes? Great. Go! Go!
Back now with the start of the third period. Allies leading 4-3. I'm Evan G. Marlow with Joe B.B. Quinn behind the camera and the man himself, Shawn Perry, down next to the Stingers bench. This is a MVP memory to video production. As always, the Allies are sponsored by TD Homers. Shawn made a trip over to TD Homers last week. What do you have to say for yourself about it, Shawn?
It was delicious. I was able to watch all the football games. Had a big keg of toasted lager from Blue Point's this Long Island brewery. Used to like a lot when I visited Hofstra on the weekends.
Blue Point has a lot of great beers, and TD Homers, of course, carries many of them, as that one almost squeaked by Lotta.
Pretty right staff too. Too bad Vertigo's always hitting on them.
I'll be there after today's game, catching the end of the football game, and perhaps having a few adult beverages of myself, but keeping the hands off of the wait staff as Bradigo does enough molesting of them. Rieger on the doorstep can't get that one on net. Bremer's pass out of the reach of the Volsi. And Laney's shot there tips up and out of play.
Like that shot out of Laney.
Looking for the deflection in front. A nice smart shot coming on in. The Stingers had a nice mindset after the first, and it turned out to work in their favor with a strong start to the second. What did they have to say down there? What were you hearing on the benches down there before the start of this period down there, Shawn?
The buzz is belligerent, Evan. They are very focused on this period, very confident, and have a good game plan. Just attack, 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 not lose focus.
Good to hear. They had a little bit of frustration showing at points there in the second, but looks like they've settled things down as Bremer's shot there just hops over the net. Alves able to get enough of it. Kennedy with a big wide gets through, rebound in front. Bradigo able to clear it out.
It's a pretty juicy rebound off a half-court slap shot there. They should keep trying that play.
Sometimes the long one's hard to handle, but luckily the Thursday night showstopper himself, Mike Bradigo, was there before Bremer could get that one and get it past Alves. Bill DeChene back now with it. Pass up to Cliff Kennedy, and then for Guy Lavolsi. Lavolsi on the backhand. Nice back check from Kelsey. Rich Bremer's shot there hits a stick. And ends up on Michael Kelsey's stick. He comes on through.
Ooh,
Almost,
huge stop there by Kennedy.
almost gets through, but Cliff Kennedy with the great work on defense. Big on faceoffs and strong on defense. Cliff Kennedy has been a key part of why this is a one-goal game right now. Brad Howe, big on defense, over to Amato. That slapper from his own end hits some sticks, bounces around. Brad Howe fights off Rieger for it. Over to Bill DeChene.
Very patient pass there, but pretty effective by DeChene.
DeChene very calm when he has the ball. Managed to maintain his focus in the presence of Shawn Perry in that interview earlier, so he can handle the camera pressure. I think he can handle out
He looked
there
good
on
on
the deck.
TV, too.
He's a natural. We got to get him in the booth for one of these games. Bradigo over to Michael Kelsey.
Guest commentator for the stand
To
for the
Jim Bennett,
playoffs,
rather.
maybe. Yeah.
Evan Hill over to Benning again. And then Delgado cutting through. Nice move. Looking to get it to Hill, but Bill DeChene once again getting down there. This time blocking a pass. Shot there, scores. Cliff Kennedy squeaks it on in. and we are all tied at 4.
No surprise there, two of the biggest leaders on this team coming together and made a great play happen.
It was Bill DeChene on the defensive side for the Stingers with the great stick in the lane, preventing the pass from Delgado to get over to Hill. And then on the other end, Brad Howe and Cliff Kennedy hook up, and Cliff Kennedy squeaks it on the short side, and we're tied at 4. Cliff Kennedy having himself a hell of a game, doing everything out there.
Man, he is a defense, offense, and leadership machine for this team, and I'm not surprised at all that he's getting good offensive output. But man, I can smell the gamma radiation emanating off Joey Delgado right now. He is hulked off and pissed. That play all started with him, and he had a pretty good offensive chance that was just stopped by Kennedy, and they went all the way back.
Yeah, he had Hill there, and Delgado certainly can get frustrated when things don't go the Allies' way, as they aren't right now. I'm sure.
Speak of the devil, here he comes.
Looking for Watros this time. Watros looking to squeak it in as Lotto wasn't quite tight on the pole, then banks it in off of Kennedy. Rough bounce there for the Stingers. Cliff Kennedy can't believe it, but it's Watros' second of the day, and just like that, the Allies respond in an unconventional manner, but either way, it's a 5-4 game now. The initial shot from Watros from a tight angle, Lotto was a little bit off the pole, and he actually had to look at it, but couldn't get it past, and then ended up with it behind the net. Lotto didn't get over in time and bounced it. I believe it hit Kennedy's shin, and he banked it in. So from behind the net, Watros gets his second of the day.
An assist from the man himself, El Guapo.
El Guapo a little happier now after his team takes back the lead. We'll see how the Stingers respond right in the highs and the lows here, just tying things up thanks to the great Kennedy goal, but then a rough bounce, and Kennedy ends up deflecting it into his own net. Here's a great chance. Watcherson Hill in 2-0 over to Hill. It is skates, though. Can't get a shot off. 2-0, and the pass from Watros too far ahead. Stingers got to be happy to get away from that one without a goal. Couldn't even get the shot off. Watros handcuffing Hill. And a 2-0 with those two very rarely does not end up in a goal, but that's the case today. A huge play there as Allies with a great chance to go up 2-0, or 2 goals rather. Kelsey on the draw with Lavolsi, ends up right on Kelsey's stick in the backhander high of the blocker's side. Bill DeChene looking to clear it, can't get it past Rieger, and then Kelsey ends up with it. DeChene batting at it, ends up in front, and Rich Bremer eventually able to get it safely out of the Stingers' end. Michael Kelsey with it now, off the boards, looking for Rieger, but over her stick. In front, Bradigo with it, but flying by the net. Going too fast for his own good. Nice wrister there through some traffic. Lotto with a nice save. Bill DeChene back with it now. Very patient again with it. That one, though, hopping over Cliff Kennedy's stick.
Definitely sent some frustration over at the Stingers bench, but there's still plenty of time left. Just over 5 minutes left in the third.
Still plenty of time to get a goal or two and get right back in this thing, but a heartbreaking goal by Watros, especially the way it played out with it banking off of Kennedy's leg. A tough break as Rieger looking to bat that one in from the pass of Kelsey. Lavolsi tying her up enough to keep it out of play, or out of the net rather.
Lavolsi having kind of a quiet game so far.
It's been Kennedy and Brown doing most of the offensive work for the Stingers. A little bit of Brad Howe setting things up as that one cleared into his own bench by PJ Amato. 4:18 left now here in the third. Allies up by 1. Allies coming into today's game looking for a chance at the number 2 spot and a first-round bye. They will need a win here today, as that one's swallowed up nicely by Lotta. They'll need a win here today, and then the Loose Cannons will have to lose their 2 remaining games as they face the CT Shamrocks and Hockey Soda. Certainly, Hockey Soda a tough game, so if the Shamrocks could take down the Loose Cannons, Allies still have a pretty realistic chance at the number 2 spot. Otherwise, they do not get a first-round bye, so that is a big thing. DeChene once again down on the deck.
That game against the Shamrocks will be a good one because the Shamrocks are still fighting for their playoff spot.
An exciting matchup coming up here in the D1 Roller League as we jockey for position heading into the playoffs. Stingers, of course, with just the 1 win on the year, find themselves eliminated from the playoffs, but not playing like it today, as they are down just 1 to the Allies and have been with them all day, neck and neck. Watros now has a step on Amato. Watros coming in, looking to squeak it to short side, just wide.
What a stop by Lotta. Save of the game, no question here at the end of the 3rd period.
Watros says that one hit off the post on the shot on the other end from Amato. A little back and forth action. Watros with the step on. It was Amato on defense at first, and then able to get the shot off to the short side, went back, and Lotta getting a piece of it, able to keep it out. And then on the other end, a little back and forth action. PJ Amato with a great chance. And then
here comes
Hill.
Hill.
Now for him back in, just too tight. A lot of aggressive play forces Hill to get the backhand off late. And once again, Hill can't bury. Watros get the shot off. Some great aggressive goaltending from Stan Lotta. He needs to catch his breath down there.
Exciting stuff, and hate to say it, but Evan Hill is colder than Bradigo on college night at TD Homer's, which, of course, is the sponsor.
Cold-blooded, as Hill just can't get anything past Lotta. He's been cold as of late. It seems things just not rolling his way. Usually one of the top scorers in the league. Still is up there this session, but last couple games he has found himself a Bradigo-esque cold streak. Hill now, again, that time from a tight angle, Lotta able to get on over and shut it off.
You're not going to be able to deke your way out of this one. Put it in the back.
On the other end, Delgado with the pass up to Watros. Hill on the other side calling for it. Nice pass through, but in tight. Lotta once again out aggressively fighting off Evan Hill and cutting off the angle. Hill, a couple of these chances, he's wide open, but he's so tight into the net that Lotta is able to cut off any sort of angle to him.
And a set up right in front there again.
And you could tell some frustration coming on for Evan Hill.
Better watch out. If he plays defense, he might cough something up in this attitude.
It's just 1:48 left now, so the Stingers will need to stop giving Evan Hill chances, even if he's not scoring, and get one of their own. As there's a great one, but Brown whiffs on it. The pass in front from Amato. 1:33 left here in the game. Stingers down 1. Great work from Kelsey. Ends up taking Howe down.
He was looking for a call there.
Howe frustrated with the calls against him. Certainly frustrated now with the no call on that one. Kelsey with it with Rieger. DeChene down to the deck. Kelsey cutting on through. Forehand, backhand, buries it for his 3rd of the day. And that, the final dagger, as Howe very frustrated. He's going to have some words for the referee. DeChene can't believe it. Lotta exhausted.
That one stings.
That one certainly does. 6-4 now with 1:11 left, and that's likely going to be too much here with time slowly ticking away from the Stingers. They'll take a timeout. DeChene having words now with Seth Gibson. Lotta still trying to catch his breath with his
They
helmet
certainly
off.
didn't get a call. There was no power play for the Stingers tonight, but maybe talking.
Sometimes the refs just don't see things your way, and that's been the case so far for the Stingers. We'll take a quick break and be back with the final 111 after this. Back now for the final 111 as the Stingers in desperation mode will pull Lotta right off the draw. So they'll be up a man looking for 2 goals now after the dagger from Kelsey. It was Kelsey on the other end who got caught up with Brad Howe on the slap shot and ended up taking Howe down. There was no call. Howe very frustrated, already angry at the referees, and that certainly didn't help the situation. And then DeChene went down to block the play by Kelsey, but a nice patient hold by him, and then he held on over to the backhand and ends up with his 3rd of the day. Stan Lotta getting a well-deserved rest after a valiant effort in what is looking to be a defeat, as though here's still a chance, but unable to get that one through.
Fast
and Kelsey
break, here we go.
In with Rieger.
Kelsey and Regan.
DeChene, of course, with the big save. Bill DeChene does it all, playing
That guy
goalie
has
now.
some balls, and he used them right there to block another ball.
Kelsey had Rieger with him, decided to look for the shot on the empty net, but Bill DeChene, we talked about all the things he's done. Apparently goalie is one of them as well. But unfortunately for him and the Stingers, despite a fantastic effort and a hard-fought game, they end up on the short end of the stick and down 6-4. The final, the Allies taking the victory. It was a great effort by the Stingers, a team with not much to play for today, Shawn.
Huge contest, huge heart by the Stingers from start to finish in this game. It was a great challenge for the Allies, and honestly, I think that this victory really challenged them more than they were expecting, but it was a great momentum piece for them going into the playoffs, because they definitely were given more than they thought they could handle for a minute there by the Stingers, especially in the second period.
Yeah,
I think that there's a lot they can take away from this one.
Stingers coming in with the worst record in the league. Allies looking for a first-round bye and perhaps looking past the Stingers a little bit, but the Stingers gave them all they could handle, and it was a late goal by Watros and then another late goal by Kelsey that ended up giving the Allies the 6-4 lead. But for the Stingers, you got to give them credit for fighting all day. Kennedy and Brown with great games. Bill DeChene, of course, speaking with you in between periods, Shawn, and a fantastic effort on defense by him as well.
Amato also had a huge game today. Lotta was golden in net, and if they'd won this game, we would have been talking about him nonstop, and it almost happened. You know, one other right there at the end, that 6th goal was the killer, but if they'd pulled the goalie a minute earlier, this could be a completely different story. We could be over in overtime.
Yeah, they
stood on his head.
The 5th goal, of course, Watros banking in off of Kennedy's leg, a little unlucky bounce there, but that's how the ball rolls sometimes. For the Allies, they'll hold on and wait to see where their playoff positioning will be. Stingers go out on a losing effort, but a strong effort, something they can certainly hold their heads high for. So for Shawn Perry, down next to the Stingers bench, doing a great job all day. Joe B.B. Quinn on the camera. This has been a Memory to Video production. We will see you in the playoffs in about a week and a half. Not sure the exact schedule, but until then, have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you for some playoff hockey very soon. Thanks, and have a good one.